Well, I gotta turn the music off, otherwise YouTube will copyright me. Good song too. I'm currently mid-engine rebuild on this thing. I hadn't got the camera out much. I've been trying to record little snippets on my phone because it's such a greasy mess, but I wanted to show you guys how one guy in his driveway, where all the dirt is, can rebuild an engine. So this is how it goes. Stay tuned, guys. Getting ready to rebuild this engine. It's got pretty low compression. I put this in about 8 years ago and the motor was seized, so I got it unseized. Never thought twice about all the rings being rusted. Lost compression in one cylinder and I wasn't even aware of that for about a year. Decided to do a compression test and had zero pressure on that. I wouldn't even tick the button, so pulled that piston out, put new rings on it, put it back in. It also had holes in the piston, but I've been running that for about 3-4 years now. It's time. This is burning about 1.5 gallons of oil every 200 miles. So I got what's called the power driven diesel door slammer rebuild kit. Put in the old Fummins. Well, discovered another issue. I was trying to turn the motor over, bar it over so that I could set my timing on the pump, pin it, had everything turning, but the engine's not spinning. Reason being, harmonic bouncer is just spinning on the crank. So I gotta buy another one of those, and I think those are like $800-900, but you can see that just isn't good. That ain't good, folks. And I don't know how long it's been like that. Give you one more spin here. So that's not good. Still digging the Fummins. Alrighty, we've made some progress. This is all loose and we're ready to yeet it out of there. I got the transmission separated. The only thing left, I think, is the clutch line and the fuel return. I was just being lazy, I didn't want to get in there. But, yeah, bend a truck in half, it'll start falling into pieces. Well, we have to get the old girl out, and we're gonna give it a bath before we take it up to the shop to do a quick overhaul. And that's basically just going to be pistons, rings, and bearings on the cam and the crank. And a few gaskets because we got some leaky parts. Alright, good morning, guys. So I got my air compressor off and then got my pump timed, which means this is what it looks like normally. And then when you get your pump timed, this puts your whole engine right where you want it when you're gonna reassemble it, so you have all your pistons that you need to. I think it's 2 and 4 at top dead center. And what you want to do is get your pump timed and then make sure you pull this pin back out and then just don't rotate anything. That way I can pull my head off. I don't have to mess around with trying to time it when I get ready to put the head back on. Also, I did some clearancing so that I could pull the air compressor off, because I was trying to pull it out yesterday and I realized that I put the air compressor on and then I put my motor mounts on. So I got this all clearanced out, so now I can just slide it right out. And I also have a bracket that bolts to the block, so it supports that because it's quite a bit of weight. All right, we got the head off. Cylinders actually look pretty good so far. They are pretty glazed, but I don't see a lot of excessive scoring or anything. We'll get the head out of the way and drop these other 2 pistons down and see where we're at. But I definitely need to either sandblast this or flapper disc it, wire wheel it, and then get it painted, because it's got a lot of rust. But yeah, that's down the road. Alrighty then, the motor is broke down. Getting ready to lift it up with the telehandler by scooping it out, and that way I can take the pan off and the lower mains off so that I can start reaming this thing out. Oil pan is off, and we're getting ready to tear this bad mamma jamba apart. I don't really know what I'm looking for. I've had this open like 3 times before. All looks the same to me, but we'll get into it. Okay, we got all the pistons out. Cylinders actually look really good. I'll just dingle hone them and make that work. There is quite a bit of copper showing on some of these bearings, and then on some of them there's like no copper showing. Hopefully that's focus. Let's see if I'm on the wrong side of the sun. That's the problem. Focus. There we go. So it's piston number 1, cylinder piston 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Quite a bit of copper there, and quite a bit of copper there. I've seen way worse, a lot worse. In fact, there is a 05 on the ranch here that I rolled new bearings into, and that thing was like ka-kong, 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 ka-kong. I mean, it sounded really bad. So these aren't as bad. I'm gonna start dingle honing. We'll assemble all the pistons on our rods and put new wrist pins and everything. Then we'll roll new bearings and then start reassembling. Okay, well, I am assembling pistons right now. I just cleaned up my hands because it's a greasy job and I don't want to get a messy phone. So I'm not really filming the process. It's fairly simple. I already indexed all of my pistons and I marked them like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just put little things so I know where I'm at, because I want to put these right back in the same cylinders. And then I have my orientation, so the piston, is facing down. And it's pretty easy. You basically, pull your E-pins or your close pins, whatever people call them. I don't have a pair of pliers for it, so I just turn these down a little bit, and they worked sort of okay. But there's a sharp edge on this that you can just barely feel it, but you want it going out so it has something to bite into. And then you just put lots of assembly lube. I'm just using Stay Lube engine assembly lube, kind of same thing. And then we'll get ready to put her into there. Okay, I've been doing ring gap. I'm on number 6 now. This is the top ring, which is 26 thousandths. So you set it in there, you use your piston to slide it down and make sure that it sits square. Then you take your feeler gauge and you come in here and just check it. Make sure that it fits nice and snug. It doesn't want to get jammed in there. You just want it to be able to have a little bit of drag, like so. And what I usually do is I will go ahead and push this piston all the way down just to make sure, because I did dingle ball hone this, still have good clearance. Last one, and then we're gonna start reassembling the pistons on the bottom end and then rolling bearings. Getting ready to jab in cylinder 3 and 2. I've already done the other ones and I've just been doing them like this so I can torque them as I get done. You're wondering how I know that, because not only am I bad at numbers, but I am good at indexing things, so I always index stuff. So this has 3 dots, that's cylinder 3. The other one has 2 dots, so that's cylinder 2, and so on and so forth. That way it's easy to keep track if you ever put these to the parts wash machine. Not a wash a Sharpie off or a paint pan or anything, but when you index it like that, you get to go. So these are Interstate McBee pistons, and per their guidelines, because everybody has to follow the rules. I hate rules. Your compression oil ring and second ring here, you just put them at 180 degrees from each other like this, and don't put them over the wrist pin. And then you split the difference on the oil ring, but you don't want to split the difference on the lower ring, because that would only be, say, 120 degrees out, or even if you went like 90 degrees, it's still really close. So you swing it over here, and that way you have your second compression ring in between that and your top ring and your oil ring. So top ring, bottom ring, and then oil ring. And set these, you know, offset them a little bit, but don't put this directly above your wrist pin. Tech tip of the day. Call me tech tip Dan. I should have put you guys on that side, but I want to have the Fummins in the back. Assembly lube or oil. Want to see my quick draw? Want to see it again? Okay, I gotta remember which one I'm on here. Gonna oil both of those. You don't want to mix these up because the ring gap is specific to the cylinders. So we would have 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2. So very difficult by yourself. Alright, we gotta torque this thing down 30 foot-pounds and 44 and then 60 degrees from there. So I'm gonna raise this up so I can get to it. Normally I just let that run, but I want you guys to hear the satisfying click. So we'll check we're at 30. Go 44. And then we're gonna go 60 degrees from there. Which is always the scariest part because it's a torque to yield bolt and you never know if it's gonna snap because you went a little bit too far. There we go. Okay, I'm just rolling in the lower crank bearings right now. They look very smooth, very polished still, super clean. Very happy about that, but I'm here, might as well do it. And then I'll have to think about it. Simple process, you just take one out, give it a little bit of lube, squish that around, give it all the yumminess. It's indexed, so you can't even put them in wrong if you tried. And you slide it in here and slide it around until it gets too tight for your stubby fingers. There you go. Make sure you got lots of lube around on there. take your second one and knock it out. I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but that's how I do it. Grab this guy. If you haven't been able to see. Yummy and delicious. Follow the pattern. It's got the open dots on these sides, and on these sides it has the casting numbers. So anyways, make sure your holes are clean. Wow, that is so hard one-handed. I am not torquing these. I am just snugging up to hold the cam gear or the cam in place, because it is extremely difficult to roll bearings in if these are all torqued. Don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but that's how I'm doing it. Okay, our main caps are on and we are torqued. It's really nice that these are indexed, because then you basically you go 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, and 7. Also helps if you write down your torque specs. So basically you're 37 back to 0, 37 foot-pounds, 44, 45, whatever, 66, and then you do a 90-degree angle. So basically from 12 o'clock over to 3, or if you're dyslexic like me, you go from 3 over to midnight, because that's bedtime. Psych! Oil pan is on. Torqued it down to 18 foot-pounds. Let's keep moving. Got the head brought over here. As you can see, there's a lot of carbon buildup. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up, get some head gasket surface cleaned up, and yeah, get all this carbon off, because that's probably half my problem. How does it inject your fire when there's no injector holes? Let's see if that's leaving focus. Pretty bad. I wonder what kind of compression I had on these cylinders. Here's a couple before and after pictures of the cylinder head after I got it cleaned up. I hope you guys are really enjoying this series. Make sure you subscribe and get tuned in for part 2. Just started grinding valves, and got these ones together. I was putting the valve stem seals in, and I noticed this one is actually torn. You can see right there. Let's see if I can get this to focus for you. Yeah, you can see where it's torn. Right here. So I'm wondering how many more of these are torn. This is a brand new head that I put on. It was loaded in 2023, but making some progress little by little.